What's going on, everybody? This is Echo. Welcome to the Echoisthename podcast, episode 11. Thought we'd do something different tonight. I'm going to get a little introspective. I'm going to dissect my latest song, Wavy. So the song is 3 verses. The first verse, it starts, "Nothing could stop me, bro. I am unstoppable. You fuck with me lyrically. That is impossible. I am so blown off the vape. The vape. I love it. It's Eureka Vapors. I go to the dispensary. I get my pen. I got my hybrid cartridges. There's different strains of weed. There's sativa, indica, hybrid. I fuck with hybrids and I fuck with sativa. I don't rock with indica because that's kind of like put you on the couch and zone out and zombie. I'm not with that. I prefer sativa because of the creative aspect it gives me. And hybrids is just bomb. So that's where that line comes into play. I continue to say, I hope that you can relate. If you cannot, I cannot come to your aid. This is a whole other wave. I retrograde like Mercury, 'cause I whip it fast, boy. So I say, I hope that you can relate. If you cannot, I cannot come to your aid. This is a whole other wave. I'm talking about being on a higher level when it comes to life in general. And if you can't reach that level, then I can't come to your aid. It's a whole other wave. It's something you have to try to surf yourself. Then I get into retrograding like Mercury. Yes, it's like a double entendre where I'm talking about the thing people always try to say is messing with their life, Mercury retrogrades. But I'm also talking about Mercury, the god of speed, when I talk about I whip it fast, boy. Because the rest of the verse goes, back in Long Island City, I had that stash, boy. I put the work in the trap. I did the dirt in the trap. I still wrote the raps while I put crack in the bags, reaching for riches from rags. So I'm talking about back in Long Island City, Queens, when I lived by myself. And I lived with a bunch of the homies as well. I was in the trap. I was drug dealing. And I used to whip the crack. And I used to have to cook it, and I would break down my pounds of weed too. So the whole house was like a drug house, and I had my mom's upstairs and my family, and it was crazy. I was a crazy kid, but that's where all of that stuff comes from. The first verse is more braggadocious rapping and me giving a little background on me as far as, yeah, I've done the stuff that all the rappers now talk about. I know the trap. I've been in the trap. I did work in the trap. But I don't rap about that because I'm on a new level. I don't want to just keep perpetuating that same negativity and that same picture. Then the second verse starts. We didn't make this system. We was born in it. I didn't find this wisdom. I was born with it. I was born a cynic. I became a philosopher. So I start off by saying we didn't make this system. We were born in it because it's true. A lot of people feel this inner unresolved anger and confusion because they were just born into a system they don't fully understand. You weren't taught the things that basically make this universe appear to you. And what runs this world that we live in. You weren't explained money and how to make it and how to make it beneficial for you. These are all things that people stumble upon or have to pay money to study to learn. So it's a catch-22 in that regard. I didn't find this wisdom. I was born with it. That's talking about the inner wisdom that I've tapped into, the natural intelligence that we're all endowed with. Not just the things that you read in books and learn as you get older, but the stuff that's instinctual, inherent, inside of you already when you're born with it. I talk about being a cynic and becoming a philosopher. Those were some of the branches of philosophy from back in ancient Greece and even before that, when there was cynicism and skepticism as ways to view the world and break down the world as far as what's real and what's not real. And these two branches of philosophy are great for that. Rene Descartes was a huge skeptic, and that was a big philosophy back then. It's something that's taught now, and it's a little bit kind of part of Stoicism, which I'm heavy into now. Then I get into, I was born a star, became an astronomer. I went to class, still whip your ass. I am not one to fuck with. Obviously, that's talking about how we're all star stuff, to quote Carl Sagan. We're all basically made of the same materials that are found in stars and when stars explode in supernova. So obviously, that was tied into me saying I became an astronomer. I studied astronomy and still do at LATTC in Los Angeles and at USC as well. So I definitely look up at the stars and know what I'm looking at and read the stars. And I tell Ocean what the stars are in the sky by name, and she freaks out and loves it. So I'm already putting her on that path. And when I say I went to class, I'll still whip your ass, that's just going against the contradictory view of a nerd. I call myself the rap nerd, and I was a nerd in school, but I'm still not the one to fuck with, as I say in that next line. Because then I go on to say, I dig up the past, put it on blast. I'm talking like the government, CIA, NSA, Trilateral Commission, FBI, MI6, Council of Foreign Relations. They're probably listening now. They be hating and hating and hating. I'm obviously talking about the shadow government and the names of the government agencies that basically run the government from behind the scene, from behind where everybody thinks it's being run, the president. And it's not even these agencies in full that are running everything. There's sub-branches and sub-agencies that we'll never really hear about. We know about the ones that we hear about, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the Morgans, the Seagram's family, the Bronfmans. We all hear about these things. We know these family names, but there's even deeper names that we'll never probably hear about. But these are some of the ones that everybody talks about that most people should know about. The rest of the verse finishes with me saying, love and meditation, that is my life equation. That is my medication. When I am sick of the fuck shit, I'll be like, fuck the public when I hear really dumb shit. Now, love and meditation, that is my life equation. That's basically what sums up my life and how I lead it. I meditate, and not just the meditate that people think about when they think about meditating. It's not just sitting in a room by yourself, quiet, zoning out. It's also about meditating on life and appreciating life moment to moment and visualizing and imagining the worst scenarios possible so you can get the fear out of your face and out of your life and start to have a deeper appreciation for the life around you, the simple, innocuous things that people really take for granted. That's also part of Stoicism as far as being able to actually imagine death. Imagine what the worst thing is going to happen. Imagine your family not being here no more. Really feel it emotionally with your imagination so you could appreciate it the moment you realize you're still here, and everything that you really need and have in your life, you should cherish. Want what you have. I obviously go on to talk about how that's my medication, because that's basically what I do when I'm sick of the fuck shit. The world around us is full of things that get thrown at us all day long, and a lot of the times you have to zone in on what makes you feel better about you and just focus on that and let that be your life equation, whatever that is, whether it's art, whether it's being with your kid, whether it's going to the studio, whether it's listening to music and jogging, whatever it is, just be in that zone so you can be medicating yourself when you're sick of the fuck shit. When I say fuck the public, when I hear really dumb shit, I'm talking about the things, again, that go on around you that you don't control, the external events that make you feel like you want to go nuts and go out of your mind. But your mind, the only thing you control. The last verse starts off with me saying, I am particles, and particles are wavy. Nothing is ever for show. This universe is a maybe. I know it sounds crazy, but that's quantum mechanics. I am particles and particles are wavy is a string theory. It's what people talk about in science and quantum physics, and the world being mostly potential. Waves that haven't come to fruition yet, that haven't become actuality yet. Everything is potential until it's observed by the observer, whoever the observer, whatever the observer is. And all of a sudden, what was there in a kind of ether-like substance state that's not really matter materializes right before your eyes, and everything comes together and forms what we call reality around us. Everything's a maybe. The whole universe is a maybe. And that's quantum mechanics. And then I go on and I say everything is a machine and God is a fucking mechanic. So no need to panic. Nothing is static. All of reality's flux. Nothing is permanent, nigga. So I give zero fucks. I'm talking about the world being a machine, the universe being a machine. So God's a mechanic. It's a mechanical universe that Stoics talk about as far as cause and effect and everything being like waves going towards a shore, following a certain timeline, so to speak. But it's all potential and it all is kind of unfurling as the waves go. That's what life is. So there's no need to panic. Nothing is static, meaning nothing is permanent. Nothing sticks. Nothing is in stone. All of reality's flux. It changes constantly. That's going back to ancient Greece and even before ancient Greece with Heraclitus and Parmenides. I mean, I gotta say, I'm happy I fucking exist. I don't know where else you would get this information from a rapper if I wasn't rapping about it. Go check me out on SoundCloud.com/Echoisthename. Hope you fuck with the music. Hope you fuck with the movement.